Syndicated. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's in North Alabama. You can also find us syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And make sure you also look out for that podcast. And I'm going to tell you, this is a long one, and it has a lot of net in it. Okay, so it's netnewsnetwork.net. And you'll find all of our shows there. They're working on a few tweaks right now. So right now you're seeing, or you're just listening to it right now, but we will also have it where it'll be televised as well. So we appreciate that opportunity. I have with me right now a very special friend. We've been friends for a really long time. You're my little brother, right?
Yeah, I think probably, 2017, 18, something like that.
This is my kid brother.
Yeah. This is the radio station.
Yeah, that's how we know each other. Yeah. He is a talk show host. He is also a minister, and he is also a singer. So if you had to choose one, which one would it be, Mike?
Oh, man, you would ask me that today.
Depends on what's happening in either one of the...
Well, I'm called to preach. Mm-hmm. I'm not called to sing. Mm-hmm. And I've heard people say they're called to sing. No, there's no scripture in the Bible there. You've got a talent. And I love quartet singing. Unfortunately, COVID messed that up for me, and I haven't been able to get that back together. But I'm still looking, still doing solo ministry, and plus preaching, evangelism, and I've got some dates coming up. I got to get it healed from this year, but
he's had some surgery.
Going down into Florida. Little Doyle Harper. They used to sing with the Dixie Echoes. Mm-hmm. And he's got the Harper brothers. He's off has to come down, and we're going to probably do most of a CD down there and do some preaching. Got some preaching dates, invitations up in Michigan and Wilmington, North Carolina, and Kansas. So,
but let me hitch a ride with you when you go to North Carolina. My son lives up in there, close to the Raleigh area.
Well, we'll be right on the coast. Wilmington is right up there on the coast at Port City. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, that's where these CDs were made, from Port City, Wilmington. The guy Terry Carter that used to be, it was him and Bonnie English and Michael English and all those that started out the singing Samaritans. Mm-hmm. Then eventually done what was called the Anchorman. That really took off and went crazy, and then he had a bad accident and heart attack and stuff like that, and then about 5 years ago formed what's called Port City Quartet, and y'all even play some of his music, Arise and The Empty Cross, Empty Tomb that Diane Wilkerson wrote, and so
you've been in our top 50. And so this is how our radio station works. Our radio stations, you really don't need a promoter. And so if you send music and it's something that we can play on the air, and you get suggestions by our listeners, bosses around, tell us what to do, by the way. So it's all listener based. So whether you have a promoter or not, there are people who are actually being promoted on our radio station and asked for that have no promoters again. And so I think that's the way it should be. I just, and promoters are awesome, man. I love promoters. But now, if you just don't, you can't, you don't have the time or the energy for a promoter, well then, as long as you're recording something and the folks like it and they request you, you're on this air.
Well, I used to be a promoter, and but I got away from it. That's something. That's another ball game. I like the singing and the preaching. My favorite, as I told people last night and this morning, I'd like nothing better to do than preach the Word of God. I live, when I had surgery for this year, that I had some people, and that people have been so good. Don Stiles, James Barber.
I saw Don listening to you today.
Yeah, James Barber, fan of the Barber family. I think you play some of their music. He's got an awesome song called Tomorrow Never Came. Oh, man, what a song. And he drove 8 hours round trip, nearly 9 hours round trip from upper side of Atlanta to come down and do 2 broadcasts 2 weeks in a row. Don Stiles came and done one in between him, and he's coming back next week, the 17th, and he's going to debut his brand new project on that Monday night, the 17th. I'm looking forward to that. I've developed good friendship with these people like that. Don came from Rossville, Georgia, where he lives, 4 or 5 hours round trip. These guys have been just absolutely. And Stephen Swords, a pastor there in Gunnersville, and you know what? This was supposed to take the pressure off of me, and I wasn't supposed to be in there. But guess what?
Supposed to be.
I couldn't stay out. When I wasn't supposed to be doing it, I told my wife, I said, and I tell people, I said, there's a drive that God put there that that will not go away. And
but you're lucky to have Linda, because
Yeah.
Linda can actually put sense into his head sometimes. So I thought that Linda would probably say something. Now, I understand that. However,
she is my last night. I did not want to go. I did not feel like it. I was stressed out. My mind was cluttered. Satan had just, you know how Satan does. He will try and corrupt and this and that. And she said, you better go on. She's my biggest cheerleader. She takes down prayer requests. People are messaging her all through the day from all over the world. Prayer requests. Every day when I'm on 5 times a week, they give her the prayer request. They start before, like right now, they're starting today. Tonight when I go on at 6:30, she'll come in and and I'll have about maybe 30 minutes left. She'll shove those to me, and I'll have a page to a page and a half. We personally stop. We don't pray for them on a corporate. We name each prayer request individually every night.
why is that important?
Well, if you ask somebody to pray for you, and that's how many times have you said that you said I need prayers? People say I'm praying for you, and then they go about their business.
You may forget.
It's very important, and that's one thing that set my ministry apart. One of the people, some of the people that have really come and told me that lives in other states that I've never met, said what sets you apart, Brother Mike, is the fact that you stop. If somebody messages me on there and I see it, or my wife, she'll throw me a message and it'll come down and I'll look at it. Last night we had 500 comments. I can't see all that. She'll let me know, or Sister Carissa will, the one that emailed Brother Phil, you've got a special prayer request. Somebody has specifically got, and somebody that passed away that day, a family member that passed away that day. They've come down with cancer. They've got COVID. We'll stop right then. My daughter messaged the other night. She said, Dad, I got tonsillitis. I hadn't been able to work all week. We stopped. And we pray for that. We stop what we're doing. We don't play any music. We stop and we pray. And I get the prayer warriors to do the same thing. People expect that because that's what we've been doing.
People feel special when you just stop what you're doing and do it. It shows you really care. Yeah.
Pastor friend of mine in Kansas, he tells people all the time, he said one thing about Brother Mike, he said, if people will call in or they message and say, I got a prayer request, we stop. Everything stops. Because I believe prayer, what was his name? Jake Hess sung a song, said, prayer is the key to heaven, but faith unlocks the door. And I believe when we stop, God listens. And the faith, James chapter number 5, verse 14 tells us, says the prayer that said the prayer the prayer of the faith, the faithful, the fervent righteous prayer, wish I have a Bible with me. It says, the fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth, or it accomplishes much. It says the prayer of the faith. That word can be interpreted the faithful. When Jesus was in there and was teaching inside the house, And the four took and lifted the tiles up and set the man down. What the Bible say? Said their faith, not his, their faith.
Mhm.
They took time to go and lift the tiles off of that house and set this man down there, and he was healed. But their faith, he said their faith had made him whole.
Think about how much hard work that was. That was hard
man,
work.
you know,
You got dead weight and you're lifting it up
Yeah.
and then you're taking it down without injuring the body.
But it's people need to know. Somebody said something years ago. People don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And we want Mike Keller Music and Ministry to be a caring, prayerful, playing the good music ministry. I'm not much on contemporary. We play the good old Southern
Well, you know,
gospel
Amazing
stuff.
Grace was like, that's probably the one that's requested most.
Yeah,
Is it just
yeah.
Amazing Grace?
I mean, it go up to the top 5 or 6 here
Yeah.
a couple of months ago or so. I don't know, but you know, just the simple hymns and stuff like that. But again, you know, I don't want to talk about May so much as just what God's doing through the ministry. 6 years ago when I started, what did I know that everything would be evolved to what it is right now?
It's a strange time
30
right
countries in every state in the United States. I mean, you know, little old me started it.
now. I mean, I love technology.
Yeah. You know, but I
It
never.
gives someone who doesn't have a big money backing way to get the word out. And COVID tried to stop that, but actually it actually helped.
It did far as this ministry or
Yeah.
the being able to go the virtual and Facebook, YouTube and stuff. Things have really blossomed.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
I started
yes.
this 6 years ago, sister, in my living
Mhm.
room one night at 1:30.
Mhm.
Just said, I saw somebody go live. I said, what about that? I went in and was just playing some of the music I already had. I had 300 or 400 views. And at 1:30 in the morning, for about an hour and a half, I said,
I think God gives us wisdom, don't you?
yeah.
Like other radio people got mad at me for going live, you know, and I'm like, well, I don't understand why you're mad about that because it's the next, it's just a step. You need to grab it and run with it. And God gives it to us. So, I mean, yeah, sometimes we get left out because we don't take an opportunity and run with it. Speaking of which, we got to go take a commercial break.
Yeah.
Can you believe half the show already?
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville.
The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's in North Alabama. We are also syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I want to thank Rob Patz for making this happen. You've met Rob.
Yeah, sure have.
So anyway, thank you, Rob, for helping make this happen. He actually has his own television show as well.
I saw that when I met him at Creekside for the first time and had talked to him a time or two and whatever, but, met him at Creekside this past year.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were talking just a few minutes ago about what was actually meant for our harm. It's actually kind of blessed both our ministries.
COVID, I had the group together, and remember you at the radio station, and we done a virtual at the church.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a COVID night out. We was going to go at the radio station. They had some technology problems with the board. We couldn't do that, so we went live at the church, and our group did it with singing. And that was, we had a good response from that. And then before that, back up a few weeks before that, on March the 13th, the little guy, he's a tall guy that sings with the Inspirations now, Brother Isaac Moore. He had asked me to come over about 2 years before that and do a singing, all night singing at his church in Adairsville, Georgia. I did, and I needed him, and I called him, and I said, brother, my tenor singer can't make it tonight, or in the morning. I had two singings that next morning, our men's group conference, and then singing over in Brownsville, Alabama, just outside of Huntsville. Mm-hmm. And he said, sure, I'll come over. So he came over that night and practiced on Friday night. My lead singer left, and that kind of began kind of a snowball on the 14th. And then we done the two singings on that Saturday. And the next week, it seemed like, Sister Donna, that everything just fell apart. And Satan used the COVID to disband a lot of things. People were out of work, and groups, a lot of groups just never did come back.
A lot of churches are dissolved now because of that.
And our group, unfortunately, did not come back. And I don't know. I told somebody asked me the other day, am I going to get back to singing? And I said, well, you know, I still got my equipment, and I put the word out, and I've got some interest. But, you know, a lot of people live in different parts of the country, you know, not everything's right here. God hadn't seen fit to put that back together yet. But God has allowed the ministry at the house. We're on 5 times a week, Sunday night at 7:30, 7 o'clock Monday morning a.m., all my time Central. Monday nights at 7 o'clock Central, Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central, and back again Friday morning at 7 a.m. Central. And so between that, and then we've got Roku TV, that's just been put together in the last month by my dear friend Alton Watkins in Wilmington, North Carolina. That he's the president of Myrtle Grove Media, and he has an internet radio just like you've got up there. And plus he's got a TV station that operates out of a Southern Baptist church up there. And so I met him through Brother Terry, got this going. And of course, just like everything else, that's not too free. You know, they just don't give you Roku TV that you can broadcast, just like, you know, this equipment stuff costs you money. And so, you know, we're just branching out as God says do it, and entrusting him for
and somehow
else.
it works out.
Yeah, it does. Somebody asked me how much I had invested, and I said, I don't know. I said somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 in my little office right there. And of course, the Roku TV is, and my internet is costing me $175 a month to maintain and to get it up. And you know, I'm not a rich person, but God said do it, and here we go, and trust that the money will come in, and that it'll. What's the price on one more soul? That song that Rodney Griffin wrote, just one more soul. What's the price?
When you're out there and you're talking with people, we're in a really confusing. I never in my life thought we would be seeing things we're seeing now. So much confusion, chaos. How are people dealing with that right now?
Sister Donna, that is one of the biggest prayer requests we have today in our ministry. I wish I'd have brought some of these pages on top of pages on top of pages. Literally hundreds since we've started doing that. And probably half are the stuff that people are going through, that their children are going through. A lot of it's sickness, but a lot of it is just mental stress and stuff of that nature. People, I mean, we don't live in a stress-free society. You know?
It's all about dividing people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the core of it all. If you divide people and keep them away from each other, that's what COVID was about. Dividing everybody. You couldn't hug necks no more. I think that was probably the worst thing for me right there. But just keeping people apart, you know, this wrong is right, right is wrong. I can't believe some of the things that you're hearing. And I'll have to tell you this, as far as politics, I don't like the Democrat system at all. But there's a lot of Republican I don't like as well.
I've got a friend in Tennessee, and you've probably heard his name mentioned, Pastor Dale Walker. And he keeps me pretty much abreast. We've had him on the program, and of course he's keeping me a lot of these things going on. Tennessee's really having a battle, and I fear that we're going to end up with that same battle that they're having now with the transgender movement and bringing the books into classrooms that don't need to be there. And it hasn't. I hope I'm not oblivious of here to Alabama, but it doesn't seem like that it's come here yet.
It's creeping in.
It's creeping in because Tennessee, it's supposed to be a conservative state, but I mean, I see everything but conservatism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what happened last couple of weeks where they stormed the state house at Tennessee, demanding gun control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guns is not the problem. We have a spiritual heart problem in America today and in the world. Until Rush Limbaugh said it the best, you'll not change people's minds until you change their heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to do, is do our best and diligence. Like this morning I talked in James chapter 3 on the tongue.
I'd rather somebody shoot me than tell lies on me.
Yeah. And this old saying I used to hear when I was coming up, don't do as I do, do as I say. Now that hypocritical stuff is going to be thrown back into hell one of these days where it came out of. And that's what's wrong with America. I mean, people, the Bible said in the latter days that they would call good evil and evil good. That's it is taking such a foothold and grab today. It's running faster than a top fuel dragster going on a quarter of a mile.
I spoke with a mother who has a 14-year-old son, and she said, I don't know where you're getting your information from. This is about drag queens coming in, teaching, reading to kids and stuff like that. And I said, excuse me? What? And she said, Bob Hope used to dress in drag. And I said, not in sexy outfits. And he didn't sit around reading.
He done
to
a lot of
children.
things he did by being funny.
But there's a whole lot of mothers that, okay, if a drag queen came in and spoke to my son when he was little, and you better believe I'd be storming the school. I'd be finding out what is wrong with everybody. Why are you allowing this? But a minister is not allowed to come and read the 10 Commandments, let's say. But no, it's okay for a drag queen. If you're going to do this as a school system, allow everybody to do it, not just a particular group.
That's the thing. This got different bathrooms, and they shot down. I forget now. I think it was Kansas that they were wanting to have the same bathroom for everybody, inclusive, and they shot it down, which has got a liberal governor out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they shot it down to where and where it's veto proof. And we need to have some veto proof governors that says no, this is not going to happen, and congressmen and senators that says no, and put their foot down.
In all parties.
Yeah.
It's not just one, so it needs to be in all of them. We have less than a minute. What would you like to tell? I can't believe this. What would you like to tell everybody before you go, Mike Keller?
Well, listen to this lady right here. She is a
that might get you in trouble.
She is a one of a kind, and I love her to death. Her and Brother Phil, they do a great job on IC Radio. And download the app, get it, and I do, and I encourage other people to do it. Listen to Mike Keller Music and Ministry 5 times a week. Amen. Go to my Facebook page; you'll see the times. It'll be on there.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike, for coming on the show. It's good to be with you
having
today.
Me. Good to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio. We are your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Tell Linda hello for me.
Sure will.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye-bye.